Spider-Man, in particular Tom Holland. Is he the best Spider-Man ever? I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I believe he is. So Spider-Man Far From Home is in cinemas right now. I'd suggest you go and watch it now because it's pretty good. It's a good Spider-Man movie. And one of the things that makes it a really good film is Tom Holland's performance. We're now pretty used to him as Spider-Man, and it's about time to compare him to the other men that played the role. The wall crawler, the web slinger, Spider-Man, Spidey, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So Tom Holland's Spider-Man was first introduced in Captain America Civil War, and he's since gone on to appear in Spider-Man Homecoming, Avengers Infinity War, Avengers Endgame, and now Spider-Man Far From Home. I have to think about that. So we've started to get quite used to Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and I'm of the belief that he's the best actor ever to play the role, and I've come up with 5 reasons why I believe that to be the case. So here they are. Reason number 1, he's the right age. Technically he's not the right age, but he looks the right age. He looks like he's a 16-year-old. He could pass off as a 16-year-old. Tom Holland looks pretty young. He's actually 23 years old, but he's a young-looking guy, and he just looks like a school kid. Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield just looked a bit too old to play the role. I would never believe that Andrew Garfield was a high school kid. Like never. Tobey Maguire maybe, but he still just has a slightly old looking face, and he was older when he was cast. The second reason is his accent. He does the Queen's accent, and he does it perfectly. Tom Holland, you might know, is British, but he put the extra work in to get the Queen's accent spot on, and he really does a great job. The other actors didn't do that, they just did more generic American accents. Reason number 3 is his physicality. Tom Holland is he's like a spring, he's like a coil. You can't keep his energy in, and he's got that kind of physicality that the other 2 actors didn't have. They were, buff and they were well built, but Tom Holland is more active than the other 2 were. And you see it in the behind the scenes videos, you see it in the flips and tricks he does all the time. I don't think you ever saw Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire do those things. The 4th reason is he's more balanced than any of the other actors were. If you merged Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man together, they would be the perfect Spider-Man. And actually, that is Tom Holland. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was a good kind of geek Spider-Man. You believed him to be that sort of nerdy character, which the comic book version of the character is. But then he was a bit too much of a geek. And then you had Andrew Garfield's version of the character, who was just way too cool for school, but when he was in the suit, he was perfect. So you blend those 2 together and you get Tom Holland's version of the character. He's awkward, he's nerdy, he's scientific, he is kind of cool, and he's very quippy in the suit. So he's everything you want in Spider-Man. And the 5th reason is pretty simple. He's in better films. So you already have him in the likes of Infinity War and Endgame, and also Captain America Civil War. But then, on top of that, you have Homecoming and Far From Home. And I would say all those films are better than any of the previous Spider-Man films. I know a lot of people out there have a lot of love for the first Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 films, especially Spider-Man 2. But the truth of the matter is, they've aged rather poorly. And there are problems with those movies. And then Spider-Man 3 was terrible, just terrible. And then we have Andrew Garfield's The Amazing Spider-Man films. The first one was fine, the second one was dreadful. And I don't use that word lightly, it was dreadful. So if you put Holland's 2 Spider-Man films together and put them against Andrew Garfield's, there's no comparison. His films are a lot better. If you put, let's say, Tobey Maguire's first 2 films together, you've got a more even contest, but then you add in Spider-Man 3 and nah. I'm sorry, Tobey. So there you have it. There are 5 reasons why I think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man ever. You might not agree with me, and that's totally fine. And if you don't, just leave a comment explaining why you think Tobey or Andrew Garfield are better Spider-Man. Or even bring in voice actors that have done the role before, that you think did it better than Tom Holland. There are lots of them out there. And don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. That's always a plus when you guys do that. You can follow us everywhere on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, not Pinterest. I am really dragging this joke out. I don't know why, but I find it funny. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Spider-Man. I can't do Spider-Man, I'm sorry. I could do Doctor Strange maybe, like the way all English actors do American accents. You know, they just go really croaky. Like House and Benedict Cumberbatch's Doctor Strange is just a croaky guy. It's much easier to do it like that. It's much easier. Trust me.